CIRCLE has four main goals. First and foremost, it aims to clean up polluted sites to protect humans. Second, it adopts a polluter pays principle, so responsible parties must pay. Third, because cleanup can take years or decades, it seeks a transparent process involving the affected community. And fourth, it wants to return the land to some kind of productive use. What's important for you to understand is that CIRCLE is a strict liability law. This means the government does not have to prove negligence, intent, or unreasonable action on the part of the person who releases the material into the environment. There just has to be a release from a facility and a potentially responsible party. The first key definitional term you need to know is facility, because the law requires a release from a facility. As you can see here, the definition is broad. Keep in mind that CIRCLE is designed to regulate places and not necessarily people. While it can seek reimbursement for cleanup costs from people, the law is largely designed to regulate cleanup of places. The second definitional term you need to know is release, because the law requires a release from the facility described above. It includes words that describe the willful or inadvertent escape of pollutants into the environment. Another term worth clarifying is environment. The release from a facility must then enter the environment, so it's air or water or soil. If the release is contained in a building, then it has not entered the environment. But since the law covers a release or threat of a release, one could argue that the contaminants inside a building pose a potential release. There are exclusions to CIRCLE's coverage, as you see here. The law doesn't cover engine emissions, petroleum, natural gas, oil spills or leaks, and nuclear materials. Certain other federal laws have primacy over these areas, such as OSHA standards, Clean Air Act and Clean Water Act permits, and the Atomic Energy Act. CIRCLE has four basic parts. The first part is a system of information gathering and analysis. If there's an unauthorized release of a covered substance, the owner or operator is legally obligated to notify EPA's National Response Center immediately. Failure to report a release is punishable by up to 3 years in prison. The National Response Center is a clearinghouse that, once informed of a release, will then notify all the appropriate parties, for example, the governor of the state. The second part of the law gives EPA the authority to respond to and clean up releases of hazardous substances. The third part is a fund used to pay for the cleanup, and the final part of the law is a liability scheme for those responsible for releases of hazardous substances. We'll cover these in some detail in the next module.